Yes, someone can hack your phone without ever touching it, but the reality is far less cinematic than what movies suggest. There's no dramatic scene of a hacker instantly taking over your device just by targeting you. In real life, remote phone compromises usually depend on a mix of human error, software vulnerabilities, and manipulation. And in many cases, the attacker never actually breaks into your phone in the traditional sense. They trick you into opening the door yourself, or they exploit a flaw in something your phone is already talking to. To understand how this works, you have to understand what a smartphone really is. It's not just a device in your hand. It's a constantly connected computer that communicates with mobile networks, Wi-Fi routers, apps, websites, messaging services, cloud servers, and other devices. Every one of those connections is a potential pathway. If an attacker can compromise even one of those pathways, physical access becomes unnecessary. The most common real-world method is phishing. Phishing is responsible for the majority of so-called phone hacks. It usually starts with a message, a text, email, WhatsApp message, or social media DM that looks legitimate. It might appear to come from your bank, a delivery company, a government agency, or a service like Apple or Google. The message typically creates urgency. Your account is locked, your payment failed, or suspicious activity has been detected.
The key detail is psychological pressure. The attacker wants you to act quickly, not carefully. You click the link, land on a fake website that looks almost identical to the real one, and enter your login credentials. From that moment, your phone hasn't been hacked. You've simply handed over your credentials voluntarily without realizing it. What makes phishing so effective is that it bypasses technology entirely.
It doesn't matter how secure your phone is if you willingly type your password into the wrong place. Attackers exploit trust, familiarity, and urgency rather than technical weaknesses. A more technical route involves malicious apps. If you install an app that is secretly designed for spying or data theft, it can request permissions that give it deep access to your device. On modern smartphones, apps can ask for access to your contacts, camera, microphone, location, messages, storage, and even accessibility features that allow them to observe screen activity. Official app stores like those run by Apple and Google have security systems in place to detect malicious apps, but they are not perfect. Occasionally, harmful apps slip through, and users downloading apps from unofficial sources are at significantly higher risk. Another realistic vector is public Wi-Fi attacks. When you connect to an unsecured network in places like cafes, airports, or hotels, your data travels through a shared environment. Attackers on the same network can sometimes intercept unencrypted traffic or set up fake access points that mimic legitimate Wi-Fi networks. If your phone connects to a malicious network, the attacker may be able to observe or manipulate your traffic. In some cases, this leads to session hijacking, where an attacker takes over an already logged-in session without needing your password. This means they can access accounts while you are still logged in elsewhere. It's not guaranteed, and modern encryption like HTTPS reduces many of these risks, but unsecured networks still introduce avoidable exposure. More advanced attacks involve software vulnerabilities. Every operating system contains bugs. These bugs are usually harmless, but occasionally one can allow unintended behavior such as memory corruption or privilege escalation. When attackers discover such flaws before developers do, they can create what is known as a zero-day exploit. A subset of these are zero-click exploits, which are even more concerning. These do not require any user interaction. You don't need to click a link, open a file, or install anything. Simply receiving a specially crafted message, image, or data packet can trigger the vulnerability. One of the most well-known examples of this category of attack is spyware, such as Pegasus. This type of tool has reportedly been used in targeted surveillance campaigns against journalists, activists, and political figures. In some documented cases, infection occurred through messaging apps without any visible action from the victim. Once installed, such spyware can potentially access messages, calls, microphone input, camera feeds, and location data, effectively turning the phone into a surveillance device. However, it is important to understand scale. These attacks are extremely expensive and complex to develop. They are not typically used against average users. They are deployed selectively, often in political, intelligence, or high-value targeting scenarios. Another method that does not involve hacking your phone directly is the SIM swap attack. In a SIM swap, the attacker targets your mobile carrier instead of your device. They use social engineering, impersonating you or someone authorized, to convince the carrier to transfer your phone number to a SIM card they control. Once successful, your phone number is effectively hijacked. The attacker can receive SMS messages and calls intended for you. This is especially dangerous because many services still rely on SMS-based two-factor authentication.
With control of your number, attackers can reset passwords for email, banking, and social media accounts, gaining access without ever touching your phone. So how realistic is remote phone hacking for the average person? The answer depends on the method. Advanced techniques like zero-click exploits are real, but they are rare and usually reserved for high-value targets. Most people will never encounter them.
The far more common risks are much simpler. Phishing, weak passwords, reused credentials, and unsafe app installations. These do not require advanced hacking skills. They scale easily and are responsible for the majority of real-world compromises. Attackers generally prefer the easiest path. Why spend resources on complex exploits when a convincing fake message can achieve the same result? However, these symptoms can also have harmless explanations, such as software bugs or background updates, so they should be interpreted carefully rather than assumed to mean hacking. Protecting yourself does not require advanced technical knowledge, but it does require consistent habits. Avoid clicking on links in unexpected messages, especially those that create urgency or fear. Always verify requests independently by visiting official websites or using trusted apps rather than links provided in messages. Use strong, unique passwords for each account. Reusing passwords increases the risk of multiple accounts being compromised if one leak occurs. Enable multi-factor authentication wherever possible, ideally using authentication apps instead of SMs, since SMs can be intercepted through SIM swap attacks. Be cautious when using public Wi-Fi networks, especially for sensitive activities like banking or logging into important accounts. If possible, use secure mobile data connections or trusted networks. That is why most successful phone hacks are not about breaking strong encryption or bypassing complex defenses. They are about exploiting the weakest link in the chain, which is often human decision-making. In many cases, the attacker does not need to defeat your phone at all. They just need you to trust the wrong message, install the wrong app, or reuse the wrong password. Once you understand that, the idea of remote phone hacking becomes less mysterious and more grounded in everyday behavior. Yes, someone can hack your phone without touching it, but most of the time, they don't need to hack your phone directly. They just need you to open the door for them, even once, without realizing it. If you want more clear, real-world explanations of how cyber attacks actually work and how to stay safe, like, subscribe, and drop a comment.